The Championship, yeah, you've got teams certainly that you've mentioned, Derby, Villa's come back into it, haven't they? Bristol City's doing great. I do expect Wolves to stay up. Cardiff's doing better than we all thought, but I think from Steve Gibson's point of view, it was, we must go up this year. He spent a bit of money. I think Gary Monk's a bit unlucky, but it was all obviously well down the route of getting Tony in, and the fact that they got the win, it was too late to rectify that, because he'd already gone then soon after the game, and Tony's in there within a couple of games. So I do think he's going to put them in the shout, and it will be interesting to see what he does with that group of players. But at the moment, Wolves, I think, will definitely go up, and then it's anyone from the rest. But you're quite right, there's not a lot of difference, but they're all so desperate to get into that Premier League.
We'll be back at Wembley shortly. By the way, Ali, do you have the stat, the match of the day Steve Wilson has tweeted out about Harry Kane and Shane Long?
Well, I know that... No, go on.
Oh, maybe you had a different one. I don't know. You can use this later in commentary, because people will have forgotten by the time you use it. Harry Kane has scored 47 times since Shane Long's last goal. Yeah, right. So I just said there, didn't I? Shane Long's not scored in his last 33 for club and country. Yeah. So had I actually done a little bit more homework yesterday on Christmas Day and wasn't building so much Lego, I probably would have known that. Or I should have just spoken to Steve Wilson when I saw him over lunch. Well, you've got it for later on. So say again, 47 goals he's scored since Shane Long last scored. Yes, Harry Kane scored 47 times since Shane Long's last goal. Back with the very prepared Alistair Bruce Ball and Trevor Brooking for Spurs against Southampton from 12:30. Next, to the one game in the Scottish Premiership today at Dens Park. Dundee Celtic, Roddy Forsyth.
Hearts produced the shock result of Scottish football this season with a 4-0 drubbing of Celtic at Tynecastle 8 days ago. But although the champions have shed more points by the halfway stage of this campaign than in the whole of last season, Brendan Rodgers and company have recovered to take full reward from their meeting with Partick Thistle and then Aberdeen. Now they face Dundee and Rangers. 2 wins would once more give them a double-digit points lead to take into the new year. Dundee's task, meanwhile, is to put distance between themselves and the foot of the table. Now, you were mentioning Van Dijk being left out for tactical reasons, former Celtic defender, of course. Well, Celtic have dropped Moussa Dembele to the bench today amidst headlines that he is the target for Brighton. Some newspaper speculation or reports saying that an £18 million fee has been agreed for the striker. I'm told that is not true, but I do believe that Celtic would be not difficult to deal with if it got to the £25 million mark, so it looks as though there's still some haggling to go, but he is on the bench today.
Thank you, Roddy. Dundee Celtic also at 12:30 kick-off. There's a game in the Championship as well, Millwall Wolves, that gets underway at 1 o'clock. We'll go there in the next 10-15 minutes, but let's switch to the cricket. Australia are on top after the first day of the 4th test in Melbourne. A century from David Warner helped them finish on 244 for 3 in front of a crowd of nearly 90,000. England had reduced them to 160 for 3 earlier in the day. Here are the reflections of Jimmy Anderson.
Long day. We probably didn't start great in the first session. We didn't adjust to the conditions quickly enough. Very flat wicket, very slow. And we bowled too many bad balls that first session, let them get away from us a little bit. But I thought the way we came back second session was really impressive. I think they were 40 odd for 2 in that second session, so we did a lot of good things, and then it got a little bit reversed throughout the day, but I think the pace of the pitch didn't help us, and we stuck our task pretty well, just couldn't quite get the breakthroughs at the end.
Does your heart sink a little bit when you hear that you're going to be fielding first on a surface like that?
Well, yeah, it's not ideal, is it? Obviously, if we'd have won the toss, we'd have had a bat, but we've won. I think we might have won the last 3 tosses, so we're due to lose one. Turned up to the ground this morning thinking we might have to bowl. That's the nature of the game. We've got a 244 for 3. We're in the game. We need to bowl really well with this new ball tomorrow morning and try and get some breakthroughs.
What's the plan tomorrow? Go out there, new ball, see if you can continue the sort of momentum you gained in that afternoon session?
Like I said, the new ball's crucial. We've only bowled a couple of overs with it, so hopefully tomorrow bodies will be a bit fresher, and we can attack them with that new ball. We know that getting wickets on here with the new ball will be crucial, because it'll get slower and harder to beat the bat late as the day goes on. So we'll come back tomorrow with the same mentality as we had, particularly in that second session. Really, I thought we were pretty ruthless there. Didn't give them much to hit. So I think that's the way forward tomorrow.
Jimmy Anderson with Henry Moran. Let's hear from Jeffrey then. He's alongside Jonathan Overend.
So, Jeffrey, Australia will resume the second day, 244 for 3 in their first innings. How do you see the state of the match?
Slightly Australia ahead. I'm bound to be. Look, it was as one of the best batting pitches you could find. A bit on the slow side, but it looked flat, dry. It looked as if it might turn a bit later, but it just looked perfect. I don't think you can find a better batting pitch in India. They took advantage. Warner played splendid. I thought people talk about him being, playing extravagant shots, but I thought Sporty played positive. Nice shots, positive. He looked where the fielders were placed. He hit it in the gaps. I mean, that's what batting's about. And he just played well. The other guy at the other end, Bancroft, looked poor, looked ordinary. We made him look ordinary. Khawaja the same when he came in. And Smith, and he played well. He just looked to me as if he was trying to control the innings. Maybe he got a little problem with his hand. We heard he hurt. He didn't seem to hit anything really hard. He just looked at the score when he came in, 3 down. Want to make sure they're not 5 down tonight. It was 160 odd for 3. Yeah. And he just played solid, careful, placed the ball, looked in no trouble, got on that back foot. Nobody could get him off it. He seemed to have so much time. He transfers his weight well. And you go, wow, he just looks in control. From England's point of view, I thought they bowled quite well. I really did. I thought Anderson bowled well. Broad, his best spells, 1 or 2 spells. Wokes, not bad. Wasn't as good as those two. The youngster, Curran, a lot of energy and effort, effervescence. He gave some life to the team. Thought he did well. I don't think there's much more you could do as medium pacers. As I said before, we don't have somebody with genuine pace, and we don't have a genuine quality spinner. And that's where it hurt us a bit. Moeen bowled 6 overs, and the occasional leg spin of Milan bowled more than him, 7. That tells you quite a lot, and at some stage, you can't keep going on with a batsman who bowls a bit. You can if you play a proper spinner as well, but that hurt us. Other than that, I don't think they could have done much else. But the thing is, it's a good pitch. It's really good. If you could have sneaked 1 more, we'd have had a better. 2 would have been fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I just wonder, at that time when they were 160 for 3, Broad was steaming in. There was a little bit of movement appearing. Was there any more that could have been done at that time, do you think?
It's not going for this series. When it's not going for England, he could have had 2 more weeks. He could have almost had a hat-trick. He had 2 LBW shouts that were just missing, just too high. Another time, when things are going well, they're out. At the moment, most things are going for Australia, and that happened. It happens in football, rugby, everything. Things are going for you at the top, you keep scoring. Things at the bottom, you just keep losing, don't you? And they won the toss on a flat pitch, and they made a reasonably decent fist of it. I wouldn't say special, they didn't get away. The best bit was the afternoon session, when they're 102 for none at lunch and Warner's in, and we negate them to tea. They got 53 runs for 2 wickets. That's absolutely brilliant. I thought they did really, really well. The only thing I say, you can't keep that up all day. 6.5 hours on a very good batting pitch, where Smith gets in or Warner gets in. Warner got out, Smith got in. And as I say, without really trying to score quick, he just knocked the ball in the gaps and he got 50 quite easily, really. And I don't think there's much you can do with what you have.
No. And is this now the trouble going into day 2, that your man Smith is there, 65, not out?
You need to get him out.
Of course.
As simple as that. Look,
not easy.
You have to look at the score and say, listen, 2 balls, 2 wickets, 260 for 5. Different game. That's what you have to think. Instead of thinking, oh, well, at some stage they'll declare and put us in for an hour and we've got a difficult hour and they've got 5. Or no, you've got to think, I get 2 balls, I get the best 2 batsmen out left, then I get to Marsh. And then you have a chance. You've got Payne in who could bat and so forth. You have to think 2 wickets. You have a new ball, and I thought Anderson bowled really well and Broad. You've got to give them a spell, and Anderson bowled well. He passed the bat. He just, you pass the bat, and some days you get a nick, and other days it misses.
Is there one way that you see as being the best way of bowling to Steve Smith? What's your best tactic to him?
Start off trying to get him out by bowling the normal ball in the corridor just outside off stump, trying to hit top of off stump. He's going to get back and come forward when he can. But I think you've got to bowl fairly straightish in the corridor. Don't give him too much room. If you're short and he's on the back foot already, he's going to hit you, cut or pull. If it's wide, he transfers his weight and drives. But if you keep it fairly straight, I I wouldn't take out of the equation LBW. Once you bowl wide at him, you're taking LBW out of the equation. Us batsmen get out a lot of LBWs, let me tell you.
Yeah. And do you think generally England have got those tactics right, or do you sometimes look at their tactics and think?
It's not about right, it's about trying different things, and they have been inventive with him. And Joe Root's had some invention of field placings, but you have to accept their bowling attack is better than ours. But we have to think we've got to bowl them out by tea, not wait for a declaration for the last hour. I think we've got to get them out by tea and keep thinking that it takes one ball every batsman, not go negative, because it's very hard. I've been in these situations abroad, flat pitches, hot sunshine. It's easy to get despondent. You can't afford to get despondent.
We'll have more reaction at half-time in the Spurs-Southampton game to what happened overnight in Melbourne, and Jeffrey and the rest of the TMS team will be live from 11 o'clock tonight for day 2 on 5 Live at Sports Extra. Now at Kempton today, 8 runners line up at 3:05, trying to emulate some of jump racing's greatest names. Arkle, Desert Orchid, Corto Star, by winning the King George, the 6th chase. We can talk to our correspondent Cornelius Lysett, and this is one of the biggest days in the jump racing season.
Absolutely, yeah, good afternoon. The King George staged on the dead level, very fast track at Kempton on, I have to tell you, a lovely, bright, sunny, breezy and chilly afternoon. It's the early steeplechasing championship of the season, part of the Jockey Club's £1 million steeplechasing Triple Crown that ends in March on the contours of Cheltenham on Gold Cup Day. And amongst the 8 runners, we have Bristol de May, who's already a third of the way towards the million, having bolted up in leg 1 at Haydock last month. This is another step up for the mud-loving Bristol de May, trained by Nigel Twiston-Davis, to be ridden by jockey Darryl Jacob. He's second favourite behind Might Bite. Might Bite, not a mud lover particularly, but the ground is good to soft in places. He's trained like another runner, Whisper, by Nicky Henderson, and the mount of jockey Nico de Boinville. Very good, brilliant is Might Bite, though he has been known to get a bit eccentric on occasions and do his best to throw away a winning chance, notably at Cheltenham last March, when just beating Whisper in the RSA chase. And 2 other names very quickly to mention. Thistlecrack, trotted up last year, comes here a bit below the radar, having been beaten on his return from injury early in the month, and his stablemate, also trained by Colin Tizard, Fox Norton, a Grade 1 winner, but trying 3 miles for the first time.
Well, alongside Cornelius is Simon Phillip, who heads the syndicate that owns the hot favourite Might Bite. Afternoon, Simon.
Hello, Mark.
Are you nervous? Do you get nervous?
I'm in pretty good shape. I do get nervous occasionally, but it feeling good. This lovely sunny day. It hasn't rained too much, and feeling pretty calm.
Cornelius described your horse as eccentric at times. Would you go along with that?
Yeah, he can be a bit erratic. Someone described him in the papers the other day as the equine Eric Cantona. 1 minute spraying a 50-yard pass, the other next minute doing something a bit strange.
So last year, in the novices chase, 18 lengths clear and fell, and then at Cheltenham in the novices chase, he stops nearly, thinking the race was over.
Yeah, stopped to sign autographs. I think the thing we've cottoned on to is it's where the entrance back home is, and fortunately at Kempton the entrance back to the stables is beyond the winning line. So wherever that's the case, Aintree, Sandown, Kempton, he seems to be fine. It'll be all fingers crossed if we're lucky enough to get back to Cheltenham in the spring.
I mean, will it be as simple as that, or will there be something that can be done to try and cure him of seeing where that entrance is?
I'm not sure that they do, equine psychiatrists.
Well, you never know. I think there'll be most.
They probably do if you pay enough.
I was going to say there'll be most other things. Well, listen, good luck this afternoon. Thank you very much for talking to us. Hope Might Bite runs well.
Thanks so much, Mark.
Thank you very much. Simon Phillip, who heads the syndicate that owns the favourite Might Bite for the King George, and Cornelius and John Hunt and the rest of the team will bring you full commentary of that race. It gets underway at 3:05. The early game in the Championship is Millwall against the leaders Wolves, and Chris Dennis will be watching this one.
Happy Boxing Day, Mark, on a cold, crisp lunchtime here in South East London, where the big question is, can Wolves replicate an almost perfect first half to the season in the second? 7 points clear, 8 wins in their last 9 games and playing beautiful Portuguese-flavoured football under their impressive manager Nuno. In fact, for many people, Wolves are simply the Manchester City of the Championship. Very high praise indeed. As for Millwall, well, they may have lost their December unbeaten run at Derby on Saturday, but the Den is still a hostile, intimidating place to come and play football. Wolves, you know, may have to bare their teeth this afternoon.
From 3 o'clock, we're going to bring you our round the ground service. We've got reporters across the leagues. We'll focus in the Premier League on the 3 o'clock games, of course. Manchester United, Burnley, Chelsea, Brighton, Bournemouth, West Ham, West Brom, Everton, Huddersfield, Stoke and Watford, Leicester. Wherever the goals go in, though, across the Football League and the Premier League, we will bring them to you when we go round the grounds from 3 o'clock. The live sport today, well, you have Liverpool against Swansea in full from Anfield at 5:30. We've got the King George from Kempton at 3:05. And we're going to start this Boxing Day at Wembley. The teams are out, they've shaken hands. It's Spurs against Southampton in the company of Sir Trevor Brooking and Alistair Bruceball.
Thank you, Mark. Yes, Boxing Day, Wembley style, under some warm winter sunshine at the National Stadium. At the moment, the cameras are focusing in on you-know-who, Tottenham's number 10, in his tight-fitting white Tottenham shirt, hair slicked back as ever. Harry Kane, it could be another day of destiny for him, looking to break Alan Shearer's 22-year-old Premier League goal-scoring record in a calendar year. Harry Kane on 36, just as Alan Shearer was in 1995, the year that Blackburn won the title. So another goal today will take him past that mark. And the other one we've got to watch out for today, Sir Trevor Brooking, is top goal scorer in Europe in the calendar year for club and country. Lionel Messi starts the day on 54, doesn't play another game this year. Harry Kane is on 53, so 2 goals against Southampton today. He will be above Messi, Ronaldo, Cavani and Lewandowski. That is some year, isn't it? I know he hasn't won anything, but as an individual achievement, that is some year.
Well, and you just say the names, Ali, really. I mean, it's amazing that he is up there. And, you know, if you look at, I think, the number of games played and that, he's certainly not as if he's played 6 or 10 games more than all the rest. He's actually, for most of them, a little bit less. So it's been an amazing performance. What is good for me, he got a variety of games, you know, right foot obviously, but he's put in a few in with his left foot. He's a good header of the ball, but the left foot, you know, improvement I think has been significant, and that comes with confidence.
The goal he scored, Trevor, the hat-trick goal against Burnley, where he won the tackle, got up, lovely first touch onto that left foot, and as you say, on the wrong foot, buried it in the bottom corner. Top of his game.
Yeah, he would have shot with the right before, but he had the confidence to shape, sell a dummy on his left foot, and he just tucked it away.
Yeah, that's the individual story of the day. We are at Wembley Stadium, BBC Radio 5 Live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions,
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform.
Forced the issue here in the early stages and putting Spurs under a little bit of pressure. It's a positive start from the Saints.
Vertonghen plays it forward to Dele Alli. 3 goals this season for Dele Alli.